Hello and welcome to Nerdarchy for Nerds by Nerds. I am Nerdarchist Ted, and tonight we are going to play some 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons. We've got a long-standing campaign. This is season 3 of RPG Crate material, whether it's on the open road, Tales of the Bloody Bucket, call it what you will. But tonight we have the Nightmire, and we will see what winds up transpiring from these illustrious adventurers. So before we get too far into this, let's go around the table, introduce who these people are and who they're going to be playing. And we'll start off with Jake.
Hey Internet, it's Jake from Mini Terrain Domain, and that's where you can find me on YouTube and Twitch at Mini Terrain Domain, where I do crafting videos, tutorials, but I also stream 3 nights a week, Sundays, Mondays, and Thursdays. If you tune in on Thursdays at 8:30, you can catch V and Ted on that stream. And I'm MTD_Jake on Twitter.
So all their links are down in the description below. If you want to jump over there after the stream is over and check it all out, that's all provided for you. Once you introduce yourself, V.
Hi everyone, I'm V. I have the YouTube channel, The Crafting Muse, where I show you how to make terrain, paint miniatures, and game accessories. You can also find me, as Jake said, over on Mini Terrain Domain every Thursday night, as well as Scraticus Academy Monday nights for Dunera. So that's me for this evening.
How about you, Asa?
Hey, I'm Asa with Roll for Mischief. We stream our long-standing Voloheen Winds of War campaign on Twitch Tuesday afternoons Pacific time. Around noon. Play till about 3. Aside from that, we're branching out into some other things, but nothing to speak about right now. That's me.
All right, and how about you, Megan?
Hello, I am author Megan R. Miller. My books are available on Amazon.com. If you don't type the R, you won't be able to find me. You'll find Minecraft books instead. And there's a link to my bookshelf with all my books on it, down below, as he said. Oh, and I'm playing Dante Malvero, Wizard.
And last but certainly not least, Mike.
Hello, Michael, Freganator. Just happy to be back and see what happens with Bulgas. I don't have a channel and I don't write books.
But we like you anyway, Frag. So without further ado, let's dive into tonight's game. This is sponsored by the wonderful people over at RPG Crate. As we have here, every month you get awesome gaming stuff, awesome t-shirts, things that you can be able to drop right into your game as provided by the material that I have been running and will be continuing to run as we finish up session 3 over the next couple of months and then move on and see what will behold of a season 4. So last time, which happened to be a couple months ago, these characters had ended up crossing through a a magical portal that was in fire, and they had gone and investigated a temple, encountered some weird things. They were trying to prove their innocence in regards to the wizard Apal, who had been murdered, and they wound up finding some evidence, and we ended with them stepping back through that wall of fire. We didn't know where they were going to end up. So we're going to take it right from that moment of them stepping into that wall of fire. As the heat washes over all of you yet again, and you are taken to another place. A memory flashes through Oslin's mind. You've been traveling around Covington Cove for quite some time. You've done quite a lot, investigated the Wizard's Tower, you've gone underwater, but the thing that winds up standing out the most in his mind is going back into that underground cave where Bulgas, rushed ahead to attack this, stone that seemed to be giving off dark energies. He held off whatever energies was there and bid you guys all rush on ahead. And as you cross through this wall of fire, Oslin, the vision of Bulgath being, in this cave when all of the ceiling collapsed behind you, strikes out the most. in your mind as you step through the wall of fire and find yourselves once again within the town of Covington Cove. You are standing where you were not all that long ago, outside of the Wizard's Tower that took so much effort to actually get into. But you are home, you are safe, and there's nothing attacking you at this very moment.
Well, that's nice. I'll turn to everyone else and say, well, it's time for me to find my child.
There's no place like home.
So over the next couple of weeks, you guys are able to settle in, rest, and recuperate from your travels. There's a couple people in town who seem to give you the benefit of the doubt as your innocence has been proven, but yet there is still a considerable number of people in town that give you sidelong glances as you move about, never fully trusting the adventurers who came out of nowhere. The wizard died and claimed to have not been a part of this in any way, shape, and form. Some of you said, that you've been involved with, all of the children that had been, cast off into the sea, all kinds of weird things that have been transpired before you got into town and after. When you happen to find yourselves one night at the Salty Crab, planning that pretty soon you're going to need to get out of here. The glances, the folk in town have kind of gotten tired of you and the lot who they still feel that you just haven't really truly proven yourselves as innocent as you have claimed. Bulgas, as you
He's
are
innocent. He wasn't there.
he is innocent. He wasn't there. He supposedly had died deep beneath the waves.
It was a crushing defeat.
Indeed. You have actually been in town kind of slinking around trying to find your companions, but you've only been back in town a couple of days. And you've heard rumors of, when you begin describing some of the people, some of the townsfolk want nothing to do with the conversation. Others are more than happy to try and convince you that they're nothing but murderers, and that the wizard who gave his life for this town, died at their hands. As you move about, you eventually hear rumor that that they have actually returned to town some time ago. Where they had went to after their arrest, people weren't sure, but they were indeed arrested for their crimes, for their supposed crimes, I should say. But they've spent several nights at the Salty Crab, and you were told to, if you're honestly trying to find them, that is where you should start your search.
I will head in that direction. I know where it is, right? I don't have to ask for directions. Okay.
No. So as you step in, the tap room of the Salty Crab is boisterous around you. Drunken she shanties fill the smoky air, and barmaids duck through the crowded room, ensuring that mugs stay full. After recent hardships, the ease of the night is refreshing. Steaming fish stew and a dense, crusty bread might not be the finest fare, but is comforting in a fashion, resting by the fire. Nothing could spoil this night, or so it seems. A cold gust of salty night air rushes through the room. A figure stands silhouetted in the doorway. Everyone stops and stares for a moment at the stranger's hairless green head and the curve of a massive shell around his cloaked body.
Have I found my child up at this point? Okay,
Yep.
Cool.
You have got your child, safe and secure. It took a little bit of convincing, but the person you had left the babe with,
Well,
is on your side.
Yeah, they'd taken her when we were arrested. But yeah,
I've been watching the videos, but I don't know about the baby. Correct? Like
No.
Bulgath. Okay, I thought that was after me, but
Yeah.
I think we found the baby in the same like mission, but then you died, so you didn't know that Oslin kept the baby.
okay. Just checking.
Yeah, so I'll be probably cradling her and kind of feeding her, kind of playing with her, and not paying a whole lot of attention to what's going on around me. Maybe catching on to the fact that everyone stopped for a minute and giving a second look.
So as you see the door open, Bulgath, you look around. You're not the most observant, but you're able to see your companions, as well as a halfling that's sitting with them. But when the doorway opened shortly after you, you saw this very large, scaly creature with a turtle shell upon its back. So what do you do, Bulgath?
I totally ignore the guy that came in behind me and goes, "There you guys are. I've been looking for you everywhere." And just storm up to the table like I never left and nothing happened.
Dante lifts his head and looks over at Bulgath and goes, "Bulgath! What are you doing here? Oh my god, we thought you died." And then he's in a very awkward motion, going to like stand up, trip over his chair a little bit, and then proceed to hug Bulgath.
I did die. I got better.
You got better.
Yes. And I learned magic.
No, that doesn't sound suspicious at all.
How do
Not
you
at
know
all.
this is your Bulgas?
I
Now,
I
who are
don't.
you?
I'll ask questions first if you've come back from dead.
She's awesome and tiny and deadly, and we like her.
Sounds good.
I'm trying to think of something only the real Bulgath would know.
Bulgath
Might
doesn't know
be a good
nothing.
idea.
Throughout all of this, Oslin has kind of kept quiet and pointedly paid attention to his daughter, and he chuckled a little bit at the mention of "I've learned magic," but aside from that, has shown no signs of actually noticing and taking heed of Bulgath.
Okay.
Since would I notice him not noticing me?
Probably not.
Okay.
You would notice him doting over the child,
Okay.
but him actively trying to not notice you is probably outside your purview.
I'd like. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, I just cock my eye when you say you learn magic. I'm glad you're not dead, but I'm not hugging you.
Bulgath, how did you die? That's something only Bulgath would know.
I was crushed in the cave, and then came back, and then was crushed again, and then I came back, and I was crushed again for what seemed like forever.
I hug him again.
Oh, not so tight.
I'm
Claustrophobic
sorry.
now.
I'm sorry.
Did you not hear the part where he said he was repeatedly crushed?
So, Bulgath, as you describe the scene to your companions, you just hear the faintest whisper from inside your head, or not faintest whisper, but the faintest chuckle inside your head.
Do you hear that?
Oslin is going to stand up and declare to the rest of the group, I think I've found a name for her. I think I shall call her Bulga, after our companion. I've given it a lot of thought, and he just seems to come to mind lately, and I thought it was a fitting name.
You don't say.
And then I'm going to start to walk away and nod to the turtle man.
So you've seen that the turtle man, has been going from table to table talking to individuals. There's not a whole lot of people in here that seem to be possessed of abilities and skills like the rest of you, but the few that happen to be in here, he seems to be trying to have a conversation with to some degree. None of the tables that he walks away from like are glowering or in any kind of negative mood. In fact, it does seem that every time he leaves a group or a person, their attitude is somewhat lifted. But where are you going thereafter, Oswald?
I was gonna make my way towards the door, nod at the turtle man, and then I'll swing back and point at Bulgath and say, will you grab my drink, please?
I kind of look at him funny and pick up his drink.
And then I'll continue my way toward the door.
No sense letting it go to waste, and I finish it.
So are the rest of you still at the table?
Yes.
So the turtle creature winds up, coming over to you, and you think with as big of a creature as he is, that his voice would be like, deep or maybe off kilter in some way, shape, or form. But when he begins talking, comes across as a a nice rich baritone and very very educated sounding. He's like, may I have a moment of your time? I'm willing to pay for your drinks this evening if I could have but just a moment.
I immediately order the largest flagon of ale.
I think that's a yes. Please have a seat.
The turtle folk, gives a rich chuckle at that, and he kind of looks at the bench seating and looks kind of over his shoulder and grabs a chair from a nearby table and kind of seats himself. Greetings. My name is Haig, Dell, and I am looking for skilled individuals, those who might be able to take me into the Nightmire and allow me to seek out my destiny. Would you be at all willing to aid me in this cause?
I cringe a little bit at the name Nightmire because it sounds kind of like Nightmare, and that's all I've been having lately.
What exactly is your destiny?
Oh, well, I am a Chelonian, turtle folk, turtle, call me, what you will. And my kind typically worship and serve the sea god Chukwa. And from the moment of my birth, I have dreamed that I was to be a servant of Chukwa and go towards where my god's avatar is, and that I would be able to awaken the avatar and aid all of my kind. For when I was born, we had moved away from the ancient traditions, and the Chelonians did what the primitive turtles did. The mother would lay the eggs, and it was up to the children to just survive birth, survive the horrors of this world, combating each other, combating the nature around us. I was the only one in my clutch to survive, and not even certain that would have happened had it not been for the sea elves, who eventually came to my aid. And they raised me, they taught me everything that I know, that I wasn't born with anyway. But I would like to take my kind back to the earlier days when parents would raise their children and lift us up properly, not allow the savagery to continue. But I cannot do so without awakening the avatar.
Well, if we let Oslin know about this, we are definitely going to end up going. I look at the rest of the table.
So you're finding your god up, Chuck.
Chuck.
Chakwa, but close.
I'm rather inclined to want to escort this little turtle man to where he wants to go. Seems a lot tamer than the missions we've previously taken. And then I turn to the turtle dude. We don't have to walk through walls of fire to get there, do we?
No, we just have to, go into the Nightmire swamp. And
It's already better.
I look.
we need to seek out the temple of Chakwa, and there I will hopefully be able to be given the rest of the knowledge that Chakwa has begun to bestow upon me, so that I might awaken Zaratan.
I look quizzically at Parthas at the mention of walking through a wall of fire. Like, you're gonna have to tell me that later.
Oh, you don't even know the half of it. This seems like a pretty simple escort mission. What could possibly go wrong? I'm in.
Well, now that you said that, everything's going to go wrong.
It's all gonna go to shell. Sorry, I'll go home. Oh wait, I am home.
I've missed you, Bulgas.
Never stop puns on my account.
Well, in that case, I'm definitely for this as well. The people here are starting to give us some odd looks. It might be time for us to move along anyway.
So, that is a yes then?
Yeah, that's a yes then.
What are we agreeing to? Oslin has just kind of come up from behind the group. He has no baby this time.
A nice walk through the something called the Nightmire.
Oh. Okay.
Quit calling it that. Just the swamp is fine.
He's gonna
But that is what it's called.
I'm gonna give Bulgath an awkward look. I could have sworn I just left the baby with you.
I drank your drink. Apparently you've had plenty.
I think it's time for another round. I mean, the child's in bed. I have all night. She's in good hands.
So are you to be coming with us as well then, sir?
I suppose. Seems to be the fate destiny is chosen for me.
Well, I very much believe in fate, sir. So if fate is pushing you in this direction, how could we fail? It was pushing me there as well.
It's got to be better than the choices that I've made. That sometimes you just need to trust the forces outside yourself.
Dante, what's up with Oslin?
I don't know, but I think I'm gonna go check on that baby. I'm gonna go check on that baby.
Tylea would go right along. They hearing wait, what?
So Tylea is the only one who hasn't, actively agreed to this. Is she, what's she thinking?
She'll go along with it just to see, but she's Tylea's suspicious.
So you find, as you guys spend some time talking, just as those of you who would have observed, talking to this turtle folk, Haig, Dell, he brightens the room. He definitely uplifts the conversation. With whatever it is that you're talking about. If when Bulgas starts talking about nightmares or dark things, he circuitously gets the conversation lifted to something far more positive. It's almost infectious the way this turtle folk is talking. So
Oslin is hanging on many of the words. Also, if you go check on the baby, she's sound asleep in Oslin's apartment. There's a purple crib that is just rocking back and forth on its own accord. It looks like the crib is made out of some kind of magic.
Okay.
The unseen servant.
Unseen servant, rocking of Tensor's floating disc, maybe?
Yeah, something like that.
Do you guys want to set out in the morning? Set out, straight away?
Aslan would like to get drunk. He feels that this is the night for him to just. He's the child is well sought after, and he can just be young again.
May I join you, Oslin? It's been a while.
I've never known you to drink, but all right. And I'll kind of look around suspiciously to see if the rest of the party is watching me talk to Bulgath.
Just so you know, you have known me to drink. I've just never been drunk because the trinket that I have, or whatever it is the tankard of sobriety. My common item.
He's pretty sure you're still his unseen servant.
Perfect.
And he's trying to keep the whole talking to you like your Bulgath thing on the DL.
I'm gonna come up behind Bulgath and put my arm on his shoulder, like kind of around him, and look at Alzlin holding my large tankard. I shall drink with you as well. Both of you. All of you.
Another round.
On the turtle.
Aslan just slams his next drink and grabs another.
I don't think he thinks you're real. And she's going to pinch.
Does it hurt?
Under his breath, Aslan says, I don't know how much of this is even real. They've never talked with him before. This is...
Dude, what you fail to understand is we're going to get to the end of the campaign, and I'm going to turn to Asa, and it's like, Aslan's still back in his room. All of this has been a fiction.
And it's just going to be Ted and Asa in the overlay.
Right?
It was a super bad hangover in the bloody bucket.
and the thing that really, gets him is even the daughter was never really there. And he's back to being alone.
All of this was never real. Poor, sad Aslan. Mind blown.
So you guys are, spend the evening drinking. Hagdell, he drinks a few, but he doesn't let it get to him. He's a big, hardy turtle folk, so his constitution is pretty up there. So he doesn't really have much to deal with in regards to, any kind of issues the following morning when you guys get to your agreed upon meeting spot.
Oh, Aslan is very hungover.
So who is the first to arrive?
Dante is a morning person. He is up at the crack of dawn and just making sure everything is tidy, making sure he has packed all of his things. He gets breakfast. He's chipper.
Bulgath never went to bed. Bulgath no longer sleeps or needs to eat or drink, for that matter. He just chooses to.
That's mildly suspicious.
You don't know.
You don't know me. You don't know me.
So,
Tyler would definitely scraggly coming up at the very end with a glowering face and just not morning person at all.
Good morning.
Not morning. Never good morning. No.
Morning, yes. Good morning, not so much.
I don't know what's worse. The grumpy ones or the cheerful ones?
Yes.
Are we sharing a room? Is that the thing, or do we all kind of have separate apartments at this point?
That is.
I feel like you guys would have killed me if we had to share rooms. Dante definitely sleeps on his own because he is up at the butt crack of dawn.
At this point, my unseen servant would probably be acting as my morning alarm clock, and I'm most likely throwing stuff at it.
Tap, 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 tap.
Oh God, go away! Trying to sleep.
So when Dante, when you get up, with everyone else, kind of being slower to rise, Hagdell is there, I wouldn't say quite as chipper as you, but definitely vibrant and awake. He's pleased to see that somebody else is roused so early as well.
Hey.
He's like, I meant to ask of your group, is there one of you that considers himself the the leader, you know.
Not it.
Oh, that would definitely be Parthas.
Okay.
Yes, they consider me their leader.
We're not
'cause
worthy.
I didn't really discuss this, but I'm not a fighter. I don't really plan to engage if there's anything that we encounter in the swamp. I hope that's not going to be an issue.
It shouldn't be a problem. Stay near me. I try to stay out of direct melee as well. I'm more of a castery type, if you will, but it should be all right. We've got you.
So I mean, you know, he pulls out like a small walking stick. He's like, you know, if I have to, I've got this, but it's kind of meant more for keeping me upright in the swamp than, you know, really swinging.
If you have to fight, then we're probably already dead.
That's a great attitude.
That's a manic.
I
That's,
like
a
the
manic
way you put it.
Bulgas, go away!
that's a man of confidence. I admire that, sir. Excellent.
Is it your unseen servant, Bulgath, or am I there? I'm confused at this point.
Definitely still my unseen servant,
Okay.
Bulgas. I'm just shouting because I don't know if you guys can hear me.
Well, if I can hear you, let me know.
If you can hear, decide that you can, and then do something about it.
All right. Then I will hear you, and I will walk in, and I'll cast Mage Hand. And if anyone is looking, as I draw on the magical energy, my body looks fine, except for when I cast spells, it looks like I am bruised and broken, and my body's been crushed. And I'm just mangled until the energies dissipate and I go back to normal. And then there's a mage hand flicking your nose.
Well, I have a passive perception of 11, so I'm just going to voluntarily not see that.
Would Tylea notice this considering?
Well, are you guys all in my room right now? Because, I mean, that could be awkward.
Party.
All right. So, is there anything else that anyone wants to do before you set out? I mean, we can go through the the fun amusement of Oslin's wake up procedures, but
I think we've got it well hammered out at this point. When I wake up, I recast Unseen Servant and Tensor's floating disc. So I spend like 20 minutes just fiddling around with my magey things. And then I've got my disc following me around with my baby asleep on it.
all right. So you're able to, whatever supplies that you guys might need, the town is able to, handle anything regular. We're not getting, spyglasses and, magic gear, but anything that's like regular shop type stuff, you're able to acquire here without too much of a problem.
Oslin, real talk, dude. You're not taking that baby into the mire with us, right?
It's a nice little gentle stroll through the mire, and
No, it's not. There are probably things attacking us, and that thing is going to cry and draw down every crocodile in the area. Find a sitter.
She's here in this town. These people have already stole this baby twice.
They didn't steal the baby. Somebody watched her while you were in jail, and it was very nice.
They took her away when we went to jail. That's not watching. That's like, here we go. This child's ours now because you're a outlaw.
Okay, but we're not outlaws, and not all of them threw us in the jail, and you cannot take that baby into a mire, or maybe they should take her away.
Maybe the crocodiles want some baby back ribs.
She will be absolutely fine. I'm here to protect her. I know how to handle this.
Okay, but what happens when she cries in the middle of us walking through the woods and then draws down all the wild animals?
She's a good baby. She doesn't cry.
That's not how babies work.
She starts to howl at that.
Oslin, you better know the silence spell.
Oh, you know what? I should.
There goes all your spell slots.
Just keeping my child.
All your spell slots are turned to parental care.
We've got to stop every like half an hour so I can up my rituals.
This is suddenly turning into Willow.
Like
I stole the Daikini.
Wait,
I'm gonna use the message cantrip and contact our. I'm sorry, there's a keyleth in our other game, and your name is very similar to that. What was your character again, V?
It's Tylea.
Tylea. Okay, so I'm gonna contact her, and I'm gonna be like, "Have you ever stolen a baby before?"
What have you heard?
Nothing, but I need a baby stolen
How soon?
before we leave.
Where do you want the baby to go?
To a babysitter.
Oh
So hold on, let me get this straight. You're gonna steal Oslin's baby just after he spent all this time getting it back,
Well,
and
he's
you
not
know
being
that he
he's not
has.
being reasonable right now, and I don't want it to get eaten by a crocodile.
You know he has a history of like mental
Separation
instability. Yeah, and severe separation anxiety.
I never said Dante was a responsible person, but at least he knows he's irresponsible, okay?
Hey, if you get me in on this, I will help distract Oslin.
I'm actually crying.
It's okay. Ted's bringing down the house.
I'm
That's
breaking
why I
stuff
laughed
behind
as
me.
hard as I did.
Did you just clear a shelf?
Yeah, I did.
I looked away for a second and all of Ted's background.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's just gonna
So-
sit in here falling on me. No big deal.
Why not? No big deal.
Oh,
we were
man.
gonna play a pre-made adventure, but now we're playing a baby theft
We're,
heist.
we're basically trying not to be like 3 men and a baby. Except there's more of us.
All right, so some of you want the baby to not go. One of you wants the baby to go. How is this going down?
I go up to Oslin and be like, "Hey, look!" And I start ritual casting detect magic and showing him that I know magic and I'm able to distract him, hopefully for 10 minutes.
Yeah. That's great. I look around. Is there anybody watching? And then I start to play with my baby a little bit.
You know what?
Yeah, my favorite
Fine.
little
Let's
toy.
take the baby into the mire and prove how bad an idea this is, and next time you'll find a babysitter.
If there is a next time for the baby.
That is not my problem.
So,
Right.
yeah,
There's only so many repairs that can be done.
A bit of a harsh stance. I mean, this baby could be in real danger.
Yeah, I know. That's why I'm trying to get you to find a sitter.
Sorry,
All right.
sorry, Mr. Turtle.
Who here do we know that we can actually trust?
How much room's in the shell? Can we just shove the baby in the shell behind the turtle?
That's not how babies work.
That's
I don't
not
know how
how
it actually
shells work.
That's not how
It's okay.
babies or shells work.
That's not how it works, sir.
Not a kangaroo.
Oh.
So it's not just like armor you can take it off and put it on and oh.
Okay. So I'm gonna go find the townsperson that reminded Oslin so much of his daughter and bring her here.
Okay.
Pretty sure that was Tylea.
Was it?
No, wasn't it? Both of us reminded?
Because I remember there was a woman that came to us while we were in prison, and then like you got her kind of
Oh.
cross-wired
Yeah.
with Tylea.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So I'm gonna go find her and bring her to you and be like, she'll do it.
I don't have her name here, but I do remember who you're talking about. So you're able to, find her with just a little bit of work. And
there's obviously that awkward moment of, okay, look, I know this is going to be a really strange request, but it has to be you. It can't be anyone else. Our friend is a little bit deranged.
Okay.
How are you at babysitting?
I mean, I'm okay. I've taken care of children in the past.
Okay. What's your usual rate?
How long are we talking? I mean,
It shouldn't be super long, a couple days at most.
if you
Between a couple days and forever.
if you've got supplies for her, just a handful of silver should be more than adequate.
Okay, I'm gonna here, let me check what I have as far as gold is concerned.
All
That's-
the golds.
The only
Oslin
problem
starts
with
berating with
John
like
having to,
the
flip between the screens. I don't have currency written down.
That's because I have.
I will give her 2 gold pieces.
You decided
Yes.
I was the party like bank. and
Treasurer.
I have all of that.
I know, I have like 10 gold pieces. I'm like, somebody's got our money. I will give this person 2 gold pieces. This
Thank you.
should cover it.
And Osland starts berating her with questions about childcare and just making sure that she understands which one is Bulga's favorite toy and that she only likes to go to sleep to this song and all the things you do.
Dante, it very much looks like he would like to strangle you, but he does this behind your back so you can't see it.
So, in regards to, favorite songs and favorite toy, obviously she doesn't really know that kind of stuff. But when it comes to like,
Oh no, he's telling her about it. Of course.
oh, okay. But when you're asking, oh, what do you do in this situation or what do you do in that situation? She's pretty quick to give you the right answer, and even says things that you didn't know that you should be doing.
You're a bad father.
Hey,
Okay. Don't. Like, this is
all he's
almost
got,
over.
man.
Speaking of which, when did you get a kid? Has it been gone that long?
Well, at this, Osland is going to continue with this conversation, and by the end, feel very.
Well, Bulgav, I don't know if
uplifted.
you've noticed, but that girl is half fish.
Which girl?
I
The
point to the
baby.
baby. We got her in the ocean.
I'm out. Can't do it.
the same ocean that led to Bulgath's demise.
Like, you were there when we picked the baby up.
Both of them. We got to keep one because the other one, the parents actually wanted it. That town is messed up.
Why do you sound disappointed by that?
That town was just full of terrible, terrible people. Just saying.
Well, don't leave the baby with anybody in chat because they're all wanting to put it into a bag of holding or petrify it.
Oh,
It's true. It's very clear that our chat is not good baby.
Dang nabbit.
well, they also wanted to shave my dog, so I didn't
Petrify the
don't
baby. I
trust
like
the
that
chat
one.
to take care of things.
I don't think it's 10 days. I think it's 10 minutes of air in a bag of holding.
Yes.
Yeah.
But babies use a lot less air, right? So, I mean, no.
Well, yes, actually. they
Okay.
do,
All right.
but
11 minutes then. Like it's not gonna take 10 minutes. They're like, oh, it's so much
Alright.
smaller, so it's days. No. You don't put people in bags of holding that are alive.
no.
that are alive.
That are
That's
alive.
important. That are
We could-
alive.
We could probably shove Bulgath into a bag of holding.
Yeah.
So anyway, is there
I
anything
think-
else that you need to take care of?
I think
Before
maybe
you
he's stored
actually-
away.
I just want to pick up a club or a quarterstaff or something, even if it's just a stick on the way.
Yeah, I mean, you can get a club without a problem.
Sweet.
I mean, what is it for? Something specific that you need?
Shillelagh.
Oh, okay. Well, you can, like I said, anything that normal in the player's handbook that you want to try and find, you can get that. I mean, if you really want to go through a shopping scene, we can do that.
No,
but-
I don't.
Yeah.
We just went through a babysitter scene. I think we're good.
So the road for your destination, you guys wind up traveling for several days. The road follows the river out of Covington Cove, and after a few days' journey north, the river turns west, but the swamp lies to the east. So you begin to trek away from the flowing river. So continuing east, as the days wane, you lose the trail entirely. The ground is thick sludge that sucks at your boots with each step. Ahead, the terrain looks even worse. This may be your last chance to camp in relative comfort, as you see that the swamp gets heavier, thicker. The plants droop and sway in the very light breeze, but nothing seems awake and vibrant as you would normally see in a forest. So what do you guys do?
I am already whining about the wet conditions and being woe is me about how uncomfortable this is.
How is
turn to
how is
Bulgas.
your wolf taking all of this?
Probably not well. I mean, like, neither one of us is happy with the humidity at the moment.
So the wolf's name is Snow, right?
Yes.
So Snow being a very special wolf, but I mean his coat is definitely weighed down by the humidity. He has a harder time pulling his dog like paws out of the muck, and he's much closer to the ground than the rest of you. So he voices his complaint quite hard, quite robustly at why are we going to a swamp?
Well, it's a job. It's how we get food.
Then so be it. So what do you guys do? Do you continue on, or do you take your last rest here before you head in?
I'm giving you all the sad puppy face to camp here.
Okay. We'll camp here.
Sounds good. Part of this, it was probably a good idea. I didn't bring the baby. Dante is whining enough for any father.
I'm going to start working on an air conditioner spell.
I touch her and cast.
Dante's a him.
Hold on. What is it?
But if you're gonna cool me down, please, by all means.
We're gonna take a rest.
Never mind. You don't want me to do that. That's chill touch.
Wait, if we're
That's
gonna...
something different.
I
could have sworn I took frostbite, but
no, I have a spell that could cool you down,
I do,
but
right
but it
there.
would
It's
do so
frostbite.
violently.
Well, so will mine.
That's all right. That's all right.
If you're really hot, I can help you. How many hit points do you have?
Well, I mean, you can see me. Of course, I'm really hot, but no, it's all right. It's just temperature-wise, we can deal.
All right, I won't cast snowballs at you.
And I don't complain again for the rest of the trip.
That's a lot more violent than mine.
Just as frost was starting to form on the end of my talons.
That's Snillix.
Yeah, it's my new spell.
So as you guys settle down for camp, Hagdell, kind of plops himself down. He's not as bothered, not as bothered as the rest of you. He seems to be looking ahead, but is aware that there's definite nonsense going on as you look out. And he's like, I've done a little bit of research about what we might encounter here. Supposedly the creatures in the Nightmire are bigger than what others where they exist elsewhere.
Something in the water.
There's a fog that shows up, and as the day goes on, it it's got the ability to dissipate, but it's always there, thick and ready in the morning. So I mean, we're on the outskirts, so as we kind of set off, we should be prepared that visibility is not going to be all that great. And of course, the temple is in there, so that's where we have to go.
I'm not concerned about visibility. In my experience, I can't see anything anyway.
I mean, that's fair.
If there's people taking watches, I'll take watches with everybody.
Is there ever a moment where it's just Bulgath and Oslin taking watch?
If you want that to happen, it can absolutely happen.
It would be criminal for it not to.
Yeah, there should definitely be a moment like that.
All right. So we're at that moment.
All right.
Magic.
It's like narrative streamlining. Uh,
Hey,
and this-
you ask for it, you
I
get
asked for it. So Aslan is just gonna be like absentmindedly poking at the fire for a little bit, not really paying attention to anything around him.
I'm going to use
What's-
prestidigitation to make the fire do shapes and colors and stuff. And every time he pokes it, like open up a spot so the stick doesn't hit fire. Like just messing with him. But the whole time I'm doing it, I look like I've been crushed by a bunch of rocks.
While you're doing that, I'm just gonna nod and very impressive. I'm not sure when I learned this kind of magic. I kind of feel like you know, casting spells without really knowing it. I feel bad for all those times that I pretended to cast the spells. You know, you should have realized at a certain point you were casting. You've always been able to. You just have this innate connection with magic, and I never really understood it. But it was fascinating to watch.
Don't be a fool. I didn't learn magic till after I died.
Well, I mean, that's not true. You learned magic way before that. Well, you didn't learn it, but you were doing it.
You've been drinking again, Oslin.
No. Why would I need to be drinking?
Do you want to?
We're on an adventure. I always want to drink, but there's times when you shouldn't, and we're on the clock right now. Besides, it wouldn't do you any good. You can't drink, or at least you don't need to.
Touche. So how were things without me?
There hasn't been a moment without you. Since you died, I've been followed by your ghost, and then I sort of, made your ghost. I cast my unseen servant, named it you. I mean, you're still here. You just seem to have much more presence. And now, why is everyone else seeing you? This just shouldn't be happening. Am I really losing touch with reality that much that I'm perceiving my own companions as interacting with something that isn't there?
Do you want to see another of me?
One is confusing enough as it is.
I can make many.
Please don't. Why am I arguing with myself? I would be the one making many. I could just choose not to. This is a roundabout way. Why did they let me take watch on my own? Am I really that alienating to everyone else? Are they that uncomfortable around me?
I will say you're not alone in cast mirror image. And then 6 seconds later, I'll bring forth my figment. So there's like 6 of me there.
I'm gonna just shake my head and get up and gently wake Dante.
What? And I'm gonna like pull the mask that I have over my eyes off and like just kind of look at Oslin. Like, what time is it? Is it my watch?
It
I
might
think
be
he's disturbed. And
I'll kind of like, you be quiet.
So as you look over to where he's pointing, you see, half a dozen Bulgas.
And they all look to have
5 of them are
crushed.
waving at you, and one of them's looking at you looking at me like I'm an idiot.
I should not have left you 7 alone together. Go to bed. I got this. And I'm gonna like get up and start taking watch and complain the whole time. I'm like coming out of my bedroll.
Good night, Oslin. See you in the morning.
I'll take a seat next to Dante and look at Bulgath, and you see him.
Yes. He's
He's
back.
not-
He's actually back. You're not seeing things anymore. He's real.
And I'm not hallucinating you saying that.
You know what? If we're going to go that deep down the rabbit hole, there's nothing I can do to convince you.
I mean, that's true.
Here, I'll prove I'm real. And then I pinch him.
All right. With the sake of not going down this whole rabbit hole of what is real and what isn't, I will accept this as it is, and hopefully I'm not sitting in my room somewhere drooling and muttering to myself while I'm pretending that I'm in a swamp.
Why? That is a very, very specific suspicion for you to have, Oslin. Has that happened before?
No, not at all. Not at all. Not at all.
Go to bed.
Something offhand a DM said at one point.
Exactly.
Well, the rest of us don't hear that voice. Go
so-
to bed.
A minute,
That's just in Oslin's head.
a minute later, there's only 2 figments, or well, 2 Bulgas. The other 4 go away.
And Oslin goes to bed.
You hear good and pop, night, pop, Oslin, pop, see, pop, and then you in the morning.
Bulgath, just I would really, really like to be able to go into the swamp and like do our job without having Oslin have another mental breakdown. He's been hallucinating you for weeks, and I'm starting to really worry about him. So, like, if you could just not exacerbate whatever mental problems he's having, I would very much appreciate that from the bottom of my frosty heart.
So the turtle's not the only one that's cold-blooded.
I mean,
Snow kind of looks up from a very, very depressed wet area that he kind of claimed, kind of looks over and just kind of chuckles. You feel a wash of cold air, come from his open maw.
Snow's immune to cold damage, right?
he actually absorbs cold damage.
Oh. At various times, I'm just going to pet him, and while I pet him, I cast Frostbite throughout our journey.
Oh, I bet he'll love that.
He definitely kind of perks up a little bit, and the hair kind of bristles as it's not quite so saggy anymore. Tends to bounce back and forth between Bulgas and Dante after that happens.
All right, you know what? Rather than being jealous, Dante is actually very happy that Bulgath was able to do something for Snow and is not going to pick on him for picking on Oslin anymore.
I was not trying to pick on Oslin. I was trying to show him that I was me and that I had learned tricks and whatnot.
And you certainly have. One of these days we'll have to sit down and talk about that and where you learned these tricks that you picked up.
Someday.
All right.
So the morning comes without too much fervor. As you get your breakfast and begin trekking off, what is your marching order as you step into the Nightmire?
I am taking up the rear with the turtle.
I think I'm gonna keep a little bit of distance between me and Oslin just for a moment.
Aren't
You're
you, Oslin?
Keep distance
Oh.
between you and Oslin?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna do that.
Do we bring a therapist in at this point? Are we getting too confused?
I think Asa needs a little bit of space from Oslin because I'm starting to feel some of that mental strain. I'm pretty sure that there's a child sitting right over here, but that person can't exist. Oh wait, that's my son. Never mind.
Oh, we saw him, kind of poking his head in.
Yeah. No, you didn't. That was a figment of your imagination. No. I'm gonna keep some distance between me and Bulgath. My bad.
Okay.
Tyler would probably more towards the front of things.
I imagine the two of us are taking up front.
I'll kind of hang.
In the little stat block thing for the figment, it doesn't say anything about time frame. Is it just there until it dies?
I would imagine so.
Okay. Doesn't even say I can dismiss it, so I have a second Bulgas just following me around. Awesome.
So we're really screwing with Oslin at this point.
And if I'm understanding it right, every time Bulgath is using magic, he's looking like the crushed, dead form of himself.
Yes.
Yes. And
Yeah.
because I'm technically using magic to keep him there, he looks like me beforehand, and the real me looks crushed at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just like I'm gonna say Dante isn't noticing this because his brain edited it out to protect his psyche. Like,
I think Oslin isn't mentioning it because he's still just not quite sure what to think about all that. He might be able to say Bulgath is real, but he might be assuming some of it's still.
So every once in a while, when you look over at whichever Bulgath looks like he's crushed, for just a moment, you hear, and you're not certain whether you are hearing it audibly or whether it's traveling right to your right to your brain, but each of you hear like a faint chuckle, and it's not a good chuckle either. So
protecting my brain by not looking directly at any of this.
So Tylea, as you're walking, I'm taking it, I guess the most nature oriented, that you've been kind of scouting before. So as you begin, trekking in, maybe 10 or so minutes in, you go to, you take a couple steps, but it seems like the ground is lifting up at your feet. So every time you step, like you're stepping higher, and it seems like the ground is rising. Before too long, it's well above you and your companions, as this gigantic, black worm-like creature forces its way out of the ground. Its maw winds up becoming apparent, and it's this circular chasm full of razor sharp teeth, and there's rows and rows of them. The entire mouth is covered by red and black eyes as it orients on the group of you. This creature is clearly large enough that it could easily swallow any one of you without too much effort. What do you all do?
Fireball.
I was gonna say, like, this is. Is it like in the middle of all of us, or how is it situated?
It's basically right in front of you. You kind of like slide down. You're kind of standing on its back, but it's like a good 8 feet in the air, over top of you guys.
It's okay because I am an evoker, so I won't hit you anyway.
Oh, good. Thank you. Let's see here.
So if you guys want to roll initiative and throw that in the chat.
Yeah.
Yes.
I do. I've
I
been
choose
waiting all
not
my
to.
life for that.
Oh. 6.
9.
What in the world? My D20 is balancing between the 14 and the 9.
On the table?
Well, in the dice cup, but
okay.
But it's not even touching the side. It's just balancing.
6.
Pick or it didn't happen.
Oh my god.
So
it is
possible.
I don't know. I'm rolling a different die. That one's haunted.
That's possessed. That's like burned with fire.
Don't let Oslin see that die.
All right.
Who is Bulgath's patron?
So-
I think I need to know how to like board my house
So-
tonight.
I rolled another one, and it bounced and hit the one that was there. Both of them are on 18.
Okay.
So I think we know what it is.
So that's a 20. Where's my control? There it is. 20.
All right, so Oslin, what are you doing?
I guess I'll go ahead and launch some shiny light bolts at it. The pew pew laser thing.
Yep.
All right. And I'm not on my pew pew laser thing, but I know my attack bonus is +7, so that's good. I'm gonna just do a key point and go ahead and make 3 of these shots.
Okay.
That one got cocked. I swear to God, Mike, all of our dice are going to be cocked now because of you. 23.
What the heck
Dropped
happened
that one.
to the camera? I guess I just see my bald spot.
That's 21, and that's 15.
They all hit.
Okay. I am very sorry. I did not have this ready. You can all yell at me in chat. It's okay. 8 for one, 6 for another, and 7 for another. And they are radiant, I do believe.
Okay.
And then I'm going to kind of position myself close to it so that, I'm just going to walk up to it, laser beam it, and walk over to it.
Okay.
Ready for more?
Bulgas, what are you doing?
We're within melee.
You're close enough. I mean, with a quick step, you could be there.
Okay. I will use my action to command my figment to go and touch it.
Okay.
Does a 12 hit?
A 12 does not.
Then nothing happens. Because 4. Stupid die.
Because 4. So Mike is back to his regular antics.
It's okay. He blessed my dice, so we're good.
That is a 19 to hit you, Tylea. The big maw of this thing comes down on you. So you take 16 points of damage. And you are currently in its teeth. I'm gonna make a strength check at the start of your turn. See what happens there. Parthas, you're up.
All right, I'm going to bonus action, since that's a thing you allow, breath weapon. So that's a DC 14 dex save.
Dex. That's 5, so no.
So it's going to take 7 points of lightning damage.
It will indeed.
And then I'm going to start. Is it sort of in a. Like, is it rearing up or kind of hunched over since it grabbed at Tylea?
It's basically trying to pull Tylea off her feet.
So, if I can, I'm going to start trying to basically run up it.
Yeah, not a problem.
While swinging at it, taking 2 attacks with my greatsword. The first attack is a 21 to hit.
And does?
And that'll be 14 points of damage. Slashing damage. The second one is only an 11.
11 is going to miss. It connects, but the hide of this creature, kind of changes back and forth between rocky protrusions. I guess it's kind of absorbed from the swamp, and then squishy. So you hit the squishy with the first one, and then bounced off one of these rocks with your second.
All right, and then I'm going to use my full 30 feet of movement to try to run up this thing towards its head.
Okay. No problems. All right. So, Tylea, let's start off with a strength check.
Okay, I rolled that, got a natural 20, so it's 23.
Okay, so awesome. You are, you're able to not be pulled off of your feet as this thing, kind of pulls back. You can go ahead and take your turn.
Okay, I'm going to go into primal savagery.
Okay.
And my nails are going to extend into these long claws. And it is a attack spell situation. And I rolled a 20 on that one, too.
A natural or a dirty?
Natural.
Oh, jeez. 2 natural 20s in one turn.
So, yeah, I guess the tilted dice is good luck.
Everyone but me.
Go figure. How do you want to handle the damage on this? Because it's normally 2d10.
Well, it's a spell. I mean, it's a crit, so you still double, so 40-10.
Okay. So that's going to be 14 first round plus, so 24 total.
All right, that's a mighty hit, and it did not like that. So basically, the way I would interpret that as this thing's maw comes down over you, you're like, I don't want none of this, and you just kind of whip out these claws and like claw the inside of its mouth, so it like rears back like this blackish green ichor that might be blood, kind of splatters all over Tylea and whoever happens to be behind you. So as it begins, rearing up away from you, Parthas, you realize oh my God, this thing is moving away faster than you expected. So that could have also attributed to why your second strike wound up missing. Dante, you're up.
Oh, could I use a bonus action?
Oh, sure, yeah.
I'm going to use my cunning action to hide.
Sure. What do you?
Or is it moving? Is it moving away from us? Like, is it retreat?
Oh no, it's still right there.
Okay.
It just kind of reared back because you slashed it, but it's still right in melee with you.
Okay, then go into hiding like behind a tree or something.
Sure.
Okay.
How's it looking?
It is definitely beat up, but I mean it's not like on death's door. It doesn't look like it's ready to run from the fight just yet.
Okay. Yes. Let us do Snowball Swarm. Give me a dex save.
Have that too.
I'm gonna guess a 12 is not gonna cut it.
No, it is not.
All right.
And that is 12 damage, coincidentally.
12 damage?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Is that all you got?
Yep.
Oslin, you're up, sir.
All right. So is V out of its clutches now?
Yes.
Good. Okay. Then I'm gonna step in front of it and smash my fists together and do my best to be a wizard monk tank, and use a bonus action to take the dodge action.
Okay.
And then I'm going to not shocking grasp. What am I going to hit it with? I think I'm just going to punch it.
Okay.
And just try to get its attention and piss it off. That would be a 17.
17 hits.
And that's 4 damage because I rolled a 1. Because I'm wonderful like that.
Wonderful.
Like, let me get you mad. Doop. You gonna attack me now? Right?
Bulgas, you're up, sir.
I will command the figment to touch it again. Does a 15 hit?
A 15 does.
All right. So it is reliving its worst terrors and is racked with psychic damage for 12 points.
12 points. So, this creature does not seem like it is possessed of a lot of intelligence. It focuses on, raw animalistic, need and hunger and savagery. Some of you, might have, studied nature or, traveled underground. This looks like, a disgusting leech that happens to be of ridiculous proportions, similar to what the turtle had said is a possibility here. But you yourself have visited much in the way of nightmares, and you kind of like, what, everything had to have gone through something like what you have, and you unleash this power, and you're not certain what it was, but the head of this thing, or the maw, somewhere deep in there's got to be something that operates as a brain, and it just kind of explodes out of this thing. The maw comes down separated from the slug, part of the body falls right down over top of Oslin. You're surrounded by all of these, disgusting teeth. The gash wound that Tylea, put in it, is still pouring out, this, greenish black ichor that you now clearly realizes it's blood. So you're being coated in more of that as the slug part of the body kind of flails a little bit. I need a acrobatics check from Parthas, who happened to be on this thing right before it died.
I've been waiting for this check. You said acrobatics?
Yes, sir. Or dexterity if you don't have it.
Hey, wait, did Bulgas
I
actually
don't
find-
have dexterity or acrobatics. I have a -1 to acrobatics.
Nice.
Found my dice.
What was that,
The one
Bulgas?
I dropped.
I think that's the first time
All
Bulgas
right.
actually killed something.
That is a 2.
That is a
On the die.
2.
So that is a 1 total because I have a -1 to acrobatics.
So,
you know
dirty
what?
one.
I'm gonna spend my point of inspiration,
okay.
and I'm gonna roll a 6. So that's a 5.
So this is a reminder because I am horrible at remembering to do so when we're not playing at my real table. You guys all do have inspiration. I always start the session off with that, and here we are, an hour and 10ish minutes in, and yeah, I'm finally giving it to you.
I remembered.
I've had it this whole time.
That's because you guys are awesome.
I embrace my low rolls.
For whatever good it did.
So you wind up taking 6 points of damage as you unluckily fall off of this thing, and the one piece of hard ground that happened to be in the vicinity, you land on. You manage to, not take any serious damage from the fall, but like the wind is knocked out of you.
There's a few errant lightning bolts that shoot out of my mouth as I goof.
But this thing is indeed, no longer moving after it spasms for a good solid 30 seconds.
I'm gonna carefully push my way away from its open mouth and look at Bulgath and say, I did the same thing with.
You guys can see that, but there's.
And I'm leaving.
You already killed it. I mean, what's.
I'm glad you didn't show me that beforehand. I would have not ripped.
Yeah, but there's probably more of them.
Maybe.
It's not saying a word. Oh boy.
So leeches of unusual sizes. Great.
So, Hagdal kind of, looks from behind the bushes that he's kind of hidden behind at the moment. Looks like you guys are all right.
We are professionals. I do my best. I don't really believe this smile.
Semi.
So he walks over to Parthas. You look like you've been injured a little bit. Are you okay?
The wind was just knocked out of me. I'm all right.
So, he sees you kind of like rubbing at your side as he, kind of, reaches down, and he's a big dude, not quite as strong as you, but I mean, he definitely has some strength as he kind of gives you a hand, pulling you to your feet. Do you allow him to help you up?
Yeah, I think if it were anybody else, I might refuse, but there's a sort of lizard reptile respect here, I guess.
So as he kind of pulls you to your feet, you hear him whisper something. You're not quite certain what it is that he says, but you feel like a pulse of energy kind of come from his chest and travel through his arm, and he casts Cure Wounds on you, and you heal for 7 points of damage. Or you heal for 7 points.
Right.
Heal, not harm.
Yes, heal. He casts cure wounds.
Oslin is going to go and I've got some of that black ichor on me. I'm gonna go and just rub a little bit on Dante's shirt.
I just stop moving and like just for a second don't do anything at all. I look down at my shirt. I look up at you.
I'll say, Dante, look again and clean it with prestidigitation.
Look here.
I
Now look
have
again.
I have that spell. It is the principle of the thing. Oslin,
You don't want a hug.
no.
Just a little one.
He's
I prestidigitate you.
I don't
Now
think it
I'll hug
works
you.
that way.
it's going to take a number of castings.
Yeah,
to-
probably because it's like a square foot, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
Spend
and
the
he-
next half an hour prestidigitating me before you give me a hug.
Yes.
he's fairly well coded, so it would take half a dozen to a dozen castings to really properly clean him off. But
Test me. I will do it. I can do this all day.
While they're doing that, Tyler's just going to do cure wounds on herself and just like shaking her head listening to this.
so as you begin casting, Heidel comes over to you, and he begins asking about where you learned your spells.
Well, I learned it from a friend of mine who got me out of a sticky situation.
No, this was kind of a sticky situation, pointing over to Oslin, who's still coated in all that filth.
Yes, quite literally this case. Mine was more figuratively.
I happen to know a little bit of that magic myself.
Are you offering to help?
I am. How bad are you injured?
It's not a tickle this time.
Excuse me?
It's not a tickle. It, it bit me essentially, so not so great.
So he heals you for 15.
Thank you very much. That's much better. That's like 1 point off better.
I ain't got anything for 1 point, but
Too bad you couldn't take Parthas's extra one.
I hear this slime is pretty healing.
Let's with that slime. I'm going to cut something off.
So as you guys, kind of travel further into the swamp, most of you are kind of not aggravated, but that definitely, being in a swamp is not an invigorating feeling, but the jubilation of Hagdol, tends to help lift some of those spirits, enough that you're not complaining, or Dante complaining more at the predicament as you begin to travel further and further in. So as you kind of be off on the horizon, you can see a structure that begins to come into view, and Hagdal, he gets even more excited, and he kind of reveals that, okay, well, it's kind of taking it on faith that that he was going in the right direction. He's never been to the Nightmire, and it's only kind of been Chuck was influenced, and his belief that this is where he needs to be, as he's kind of been helping to guide you. And you look around, the swamp is vast. He had told you that there's thousands of square feet or whatever. It's just a massive swamp that you guys are in, and to just fairly shortly be able to be in the right place. He's really excited, and it kind of blows you away that while he's been directing you guys this entire time, he didn't really know for certain the direction. It might set you off a little bit, but clearly this is where we need to go. So we don't need to worry about that. The swamp gets stickier, takes a little bit more. It's taking you 2 to 3 times as long to just traverse the distance. The muck is just that much. But as you eventually near your way to the temple, once again the very ground beneath you begins to shift, and muck slides to the side. At first you think there's another one of these leeches coming out, but this time a sleek serpentine body coiled near the base of the temple, previously hidden in the mud of the swamp, raises before you. The colossal snake looks down on you with an intelligence that seems out of place. It flickers its great forked tongue, tasting the air. Fangs glisten as the creature stares down at you, and you hear a voice in your head that says, "Who are you?"
Depends on who you ask.
Well, I'm Austin Kingsman, and who are you?
Are you the only one to respond?
I think Bulgas said it depends on who you ask.
Well, I was just waiting to see if somebody else wanted to go first, but I will introduce myself as nobleman Dante Malvaro, and like kind of do a theatrical little bow.
So, each of you, are you trying to respond mentally, or are you vocalizing your thoughts?
Oh, I say it out loud.
I'm trying to think it back to this creature. I'll cast message if I have to, but I'm definitely like doing my gestures where everyone can see them.
I think it to this creature. I am Parthus Zerg of the Waterdeep Zergs.
So again, the tongue, flickers out, and it seems each of you is perceiving it looking directly at you when you hear again into your head, "I am Schnipta, the serpent, guardian of the temple." And for a moment you see like it facing each of you, but it was just for like less than a second. And as your vision clears, it faces directly towards Hagdall. "Chukwatoa, you have finally come," the thought echoes in all of your heads. "If you would awaken Zaratan, you must take the breath of Chukwa to your heart, as others have before you."
I'm sure it'll be fine.
What does that mean? I'm addressing Hagdall. That's his name, right?
Yeah, Hagdall is the turtle. He's
Just
like,
making sure I got it right.
it's the ritual, and I'm supposed to properly learn of what I'm supposed to do here, throughout the process. And apparently I have to get the breath of Chukwa. That's going to be obviously my first task.
All right.
This blows.
I don't suppose the breath of Chukwa is something easy to get.
Well, I mean, I guess we need to go into the temple, and I have faith that everything will be here and all the knowledge will come to me at the right time.
So that's a no.
Translation: he's making it up as he goes.
I mean, he got us this far.
He's got to know something. He's got like Total Recall.
I missed you so much.
That was good. That was good.
Ah, oh, the jokes. I love them. So, he kind of looks up at this massive serpent that towers up over all of you. You kind of see the body kind of writhe and twist, and it's it's not looking to circle you or whatever have you, but it's definitely blocking your path. So he kind of looks up, and you don't really hear anything, but the snake replies to all of you. You are free to pass. Do you have any questions before you go? Kind of again addressing this to all of you.
What dangers might we find within?
What he said.
There are lizard folk that have come to try to lay claim or steal treasures within. Sometimes they lurk about. A show of force might scare them off if you're not looking to actively slay them all. But there are the trials and the rituals ahead for this one. And again, he kind of nods towards the turtle.
Do you have a preference whether we kill them or not? Should we try not to?
The lizard folk are meaningless to me.
Okay.
Kill them if you wish. Avoid them if you so desire.
I mean, that sounds like a no clear to me. I'm fine with that.
I'm ready to kill some lizard folk.
Yeah, I'd rather avoid that as much as possible. I've never been big into the whole let's kill everything in the way.
Lizard folk are evil. Pestilence.
Interesting that you would say that.
What are you saying, Oslin?
Oh.
The idea that being of a reptilian descent, you would put
I am draconic. I am not a reptile.
Are you like trying to tell him that he's being racist against reptiles, Oslin? Because
a little bit.
I look at Parthas and then I look at you and I just give you that like, dude, look.
We just want to know where you stand on the scale of.
I'm not trying to.
All right, now it's my turn. I missed you, Mike.
All right, how about if they attack us first, we give no quarter?
Sure.
Just
if you
okay.
guys choose to kill a thing, I'm not going to.
If that's how you want to do it, sure.
I would like to take a little bit of time though, and prep a familiar so we can have eyes ahead of us if we need it. So I'm gonna cast Find Familiar as a ritual, which is gonna take about an hour if we have that time.
Can I observe and possibly learn his ritual as he's casting it? Since I have the Book of Magical Secrets or whatever from Warlock.
I don't think you can learn it by watching somebody else, but I mean, you could kind of take his book and copy it into yours.
I'll just stand over his shoulder and write.
You don't touch another wizard spell book.
I'm not a wizard. It's okay. I'm just peeking over your shoulder and writing stuff down.
It's okay. My spell book is all done in picture form.
Baby diapers.
It's like a kid's picture book.
All written in crayon
of how to cast spells. Written in crayon. Yeah. All right. So yeah, Find Familiar is cast unless other things happen.
I should have taken Swarm of Familiars.
I thought about it too.
Such a good spell.
Flock of Familiars.
Yeah. So
our party's going to have 12 familiars.
No.
Okay, I didn't think so. I like to balance my ritual and non-ritual spells. So that's why I take Find Familiar instead of that.
So what are the rest of you doing as Oslin decides he's going to spend an hour casting magics?
Well, I'm gonna cast Mage Armor.
I feel like there was a
That doesn't
very,
take nearly as long, but
I feel like there's a very judgmental inclination there on
what do you
character choice.
What are you going to do for the other 59 minutes and 54 seconds?
Learn how
I'm
to
just-
playing
cast
with my
it as a
dog.
ritual.
I was going to say, I'm petting Snow if.
Oh,
Hope
okay.
needs
Well, if
to
you're
be.
petting Snow, then I don't need to play with Snow.
I'm cleaning my nails, getting the debris out from under the scratch.
I'm obnoxiously sharpening my greatsword.
See, the problem is Ken expected us to do something actually useful.
He should know better.
I know you guys too well. There is never a guarantee that you guys are like, yeah, I'm going to go do something useful. Nope. Yeah, I can't make that guarantee anytime.
At a certain point, I'll turn to the Dragonborn and say, if you want this to take longer, keep that up. Otherwise, quiet it down over there.
So, those who are a little bit more observant
Not it.
and not and not occupied. So Parthas and Tylea, you wind up looking out, and you notice that Hagdol and the serpent are like staring at each other. Since you guys were, didn't travel too far away, he kind of went back and was like, all right, we got an hour to kill. So he's having you imagine a mental conversation with this monstrous serpent. Not for the whole hour, but for at least a good solid 10 minutes. So do you guys?
Are we gonna sit here and like just in-game hour let it pass? Is that the
Yeah,
plan?
yeah. We're just gonna
Okay.
sit here for the next hour. Quiet. I'll do the 10-minute silence of the turtle, and you guys.
I'll mutter under my breath the whole time.
It's real-time ritual casting.
It's just real-time D&D. Just saying.
Hey man,
That's why my games take so long.
I've done live action role playing. You got to do a 10-minute ritual. You got to do a 10-minute ritual.
Fair enough.
I'll make my way over towards the turtle and the snake.
Okay.
Just kind of observing.
So as you kind of get close, you kind of feel this pressure on in your head, and you, without hearing words, you kind of get the thought, the idea of there's a conversation here. Do you want to be a part of it?
And I'll just sort of think, sure.
So you're drawn in, and the first sentence doesn't really make a whole lot of sense, but as the words begin to flow back and forth, you hear some names that have already come up in conversation. You hear Chukwa. You also hear Chukwa Toa, which you hadn't really heard before, other than the snake creature saying it once. And as this kind of concept comes about, and whether you restrain it or not, your lack of knowledge of what this word means comes across in the conversation or the mental conversation. And the serpent explains that kind of each age, not even generation, but each age that this world has seen, Chukwa chooses one as their champion, and that one is given the moniker Chukwatoa, the chosen, to come and do what need be done for for the turtle folk, for the Chelatonian And they kind of continue on with the conversation, and it's encouragement, as there's bolstering Hagdall up in his efforts that he has trekked so far from his homeland. He has done much in the way of travel and accomplishments. Very few turtle folk have been brought up by sea elves. Very few have learned the call of nature, as Hagdall has, and you've seen him cast a few spells, so you know that he's got some kind of power. But it is very few who have actually managed to make their way, to the temple grounds. But only 4 have climbed the temple stairs and undergone the ritual. Will you be the 5th?
Hagdall, can you fly?
Did you go over and join the?
Oh, sorry. No,
Yeah, this is all a mental conversation that's happening between
my bad. Ignore me.
between the serpent, Parthas, and Hagdall.
I just had a thought that if he could fly, he could just be like a shelicopter.
They don't know what that would be.
Me either.
So, do you just listen in, or do you chime in at all during this conversation, Parthas?
I'm just listening.
So, take all of that I just said and stretch that out over 10 minutes. And that's kind of how the conversation kind of goes back and forth. So Hagdall is now like, far more energized than he was, which is kind of saying a lot considering his enthusiasm before. So he kind of comes back to the group and kind of getting antsy as Oslan continues to go through his, hour-long ritual. He kind of comes up to each of you, and he doesn't disturb Oslan. He knows enough magic to not get involved, but he does go to each of you and kind of asks how you're feeling and gets tries to get honest feedback as to how you feel about being in the swamp, and taking it all to the positive side about being a part of this fate driven mission, and how it's going to help all of these people by doing this. So the rest of the hour goes by with these individual conversations. It's up to you as to how much you share back with Hagdall when he approaches all of you. But Oslin's got his familiar. What form does it take?
It is the form of a snake.
Okay.
I've been thinking about it a lot, and I thought that would be fitting.
So as you move on, you kind of see the what appears to be remains of humanoids, you piles of hair, claws, calcified bits, which maybe some giant creature swallowed something and spat it out. Can only imagine what kind of giant monstrous creature would do such a thing. If you look back over your shoulder and see the giant snake, but there is a large pile of stuff. I don't know if any of you wish to kind of go through the grisly remains, or whether you want to just continue forward.
If they're gonna go through the remains, I'll let my snake go forward, and I'll access its senses.
I wouldn't directly root around in it unless I saw something, but I would definitely take a look at it.
Well, you uncover some claw daggers, handful of rotted clothing. Um, you have a pretty decent passive. Why don't you make an investigation check while you're just casually looking?
The total.
A total of 6. So, I mean, nothing, immediately stands out to you as, worthwhile. But I mean, you only said that you casually looked at the top. You weren't trying to dig through.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not like rooting through it. I'm just sort of perusing for anything of interest as I walk by it.
The
What about
loot whore in me really wants to look, but Bulgath wouldn't. So
All right. So you guys continue on.
There's a part of me that feels like we just left the Vorpal sword behind.
right,
Something very useful. Yeah,
that would be
sure.
hysterical.
But as you continue to climb the stairs of this temple, you know that it's quite a ways up. But lots of other snakes, lizards, begin scurrying. Uh, but you get the feeling that you're being watched. The temple seems to have been deserted for countless years. There's not dust or anything, but you don't see like people. There's no markings in any way that something else could be here. But you definitely get the idea that you're being watched somehow. So what do you guys do? Do you just continue your trek? Do you?
What about the
mean,
familiars?
Yeah, I'm gonna keep on wandering with the group, kind of letting someone direct me, and I'll just have my familiar up ahead, uh, just to make sure there's nothing ahead that's gonna surprise us.
So as you kind of get up there, there's. Why don't you make a perception check for me?
I shall. Um, it's moderate. It is. That's not right, is it? Looks like it's a 16. Thought my perception was higher than that.
So, are you trained in nature at all?
Nope.
So, you see a lizard that doesn't seem to match the other lizards that are there. The coloring seems off.
Okay. I guess I will kind of be in a bit of a monotone, just explaining the things that I see that stand out as odd to the rest of the group. So I would kind of tell them that, and this very much like there's a lizard ahead that seems different. Its skin tone is different. It's a little bit off.
Let me have a look at that.
Snakes eat lizards, right? Just bring it back.
I can't hear you.
I know, but I don't know that.
That's fair. Well, see it eventually. It's fine.
So as your snake kind of approaches, as you continue off, the snake, the lizard kind of scurries off to the side, and you definitely hear movement. Something on the sides of the temple that like the footfalls are too heavy for what would have been just a tiny lizard.
Okay. Footfalls ahead. Very, very heavy. More than the tiny lizard would make.
Oslin, does that mean it's a really big lizard?
Again, he can't hear you.
I know.
So
Why are you ignoring me? No.
It's really not that unusual for Oslin to ignore Bulgath at this point. So
there's not an easy way to hide, but you wind up seeing coming from in front and from the sides a very large, tribe or horde, call it whatever you will, but there's like 20 lizard folk that kind of making a U around you guys.
Fight to the death, perhaps. I mutter this quietly to my companions.
You sound
So-
entirely too excited about that.
Hi, I'm Parthas Zerg. Have we just met?
So this is kind of the reptiles seeing this approach.
I mean,
Or the-
like I said, there's not
yeah.
an easy way for them to sneak up on you, but so
Right.
you all are seeing this.
Okay.
Um,
And the snake's not so far ahead that it's giving me an advantage here. So I'll being that I'm aware that's happening from my snake's perspective, I'll disengage my my senses from it so I can be in this moment.
Sure. So, for those of you who might want to, launch any kind of range stuff, you have a round to do something, but they're going to be closing in on melee next round.
Okay. I'm going to start my turn with casting comprehend languages on myself.
Okay.
The Parthas Zerg in me is gripping my greatsword very firmly. The player in me is saying, are we really about to take on 20 lizard folk?
Oh, I lied. I didn't prepare it.
Okay, so if we're not going to be able to talk to these guys, which looks like it might be the case, I feel like if there's ever going to be a moment to upcast Fireball, this is probably going to be that moment.
I feel like Parthas would say that to you. There's ever a moment to cast a fireball. This is it.
My question is the whole volume. Is it going to come back at us?
I'm an evoker.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
None of you. So I'm going to upcast Fireball and catch as many of them as I can in it.
I'm going to follow it up with casting sleep on the exact same target she casts fireball on.
Give me dex saves.
All right. So are you waiting until they cluster closer around you, or are you
Yes.
going to do it now? All right.
Wait for it.
How many
Wait.
people
Fireball!
can you exempt from that?
Hold on. It's on my character sheet, but I have to go to a different part of the character sheet because that is the one bad thing about D&D Beyond.
What is your DC?
16.
7.
And it's Dex, right?
Okay, you can yes, you can choose a number of them equal to 1 plus the spell's level. Does that mean it's upcast level or the level of the spell?
Well, when you upcast a spell, it becomes that spell level.
Okay, cool. So no, I'm not going to be hitting anybody. 'Cause there's only 5 of us. Yes.
Well, and his snake and my other me.
I
I
would
feel
like.
like positioning can compensate for some of that.
All right. So you're not going to be able to get all of them, in it. So I'm going to say you can be able to sculpt it and not hit any of your allies. But you're only going to be able to hit 16 out of the 20.
That's perfectly fine. I will
All right.
hit 16 things. I do not have a problem with that.
The 4 that she misses, are they on either side or are they lumped together?
They're going to be lumped together on the left.
I want to target them with a thunder wave.
Okay.
They're within.
All right. So that's going to be when they're right on top of you. So we'll
Oh
put
yeah,
that,
that is.
so
yeah.
we'll put that in the initiative order.
Apparently that means we're rolling initiative.
Well, Yeah, I mean, there's no stopping once you're launching a fireball. So
I would like to negotiate following the fireball.
That was my lowest level spell. You want to talk?
all right, so we got damage yet?
33 for those who did not pass, and I believe 16 for the ones that did. Unless my math is really bad.
Your math's fine.
That sounds
Okay.
good.
So all right, so 13 of them, and their bodies crisp and fall to the ground. Very much halting the mad rush of of craze. One of them had started to say something.
Oops.
Where is the? Is that a 1 for initiative?
Yeah.
Maybe they should have sent fewer people.
I rolled a 2 and I have a -1 initiative. Thanks for calling that out.
No problem.
Well, I rolled 19 and I have a 7 in my initiative.
Ace is throwing his initiative into the
other
YouTube
chat. Yeah. Oh, I can explain how that happened, but I won't. So I was gonna follow up her fireball with my sleep spell, which was 34 hit points in total.
All right, 1 sec. Let me get the initiative track down. And all right, so 34.
Yep.
So the 3 that did not, the 3 that wound up taking less damage from the fireball, they slump over. Bloom, bloom, bloom.
May you have pleasant dreams, unlike Bulgas seems to have.
Now, is there still one awake?
Oh, there's 4 that are up and have kind of slowed their charge. So Oslan, were you releasing that at initiative 26, or was that?
You had given ranged people a chance to act. That's what that was.
All right, well then
So
you're
I
up.
guess it's my turn now. So I'll step towards the other 4 and put my hands up as they start to kind of glow and say, I would recommend you surrender now.
So I'm guessing you're speaking common, correct?
Correct.
So they look to you and we came for the artifact.
Artifact? We don't have an artifact.
They kind of nod in the direction of the turtle.
He's a turtle. I know he might be old, but he's not an artifact.
I'm certain he knows where it is.
So, you gonna make us tell you? And I look at the pile of charred corpses.
They're like, they've definitely, rethought their plan here. Like they're, more tentatively, like looking to like, if we just run, are we gonna die? Like that's, those of you with decent passive insights, that's definitely what's going on. But they don't want to just run because you just nuked most of them with a wave of a hand.
Hagdall, do you know about this artifact that they are looking for?
Well, the only thing I would imagine would be the same thing that we are questing for as part of the ritual. Breath of Chakra.
So that means they don't know where it is.
I assume it's in the temple, but perhaps only No, the one blessed by my god, by Chukwa, has the ability to find it. He kind of looks over at the 4 remaining and is it worth your lives?
What do you need the breath of Chukwa for?
Are you saying that to Hagdol or to the lizard folk?
The lizard folk.
It is power. And that is how you survive. Clearly we are no match for one such as you.
No, you are not.
Will you slay us if we attempt to leave?
You are free to go.
What?
Right? Partha?
Right.
Oh, as soon as you say that, they take off.
There's still 4 asleep on the ground.
There's 3 that are asleep. Yep.
Parthas,
Slightly
leave them
singed.
be. You will sate your bloodlust elsewhere.
You would let rabid dogs loose in the streets?
Do you see any streets here?
I believe that the creatures that have the presence of mind to flee when they are outmatched should not be murdered in their sleep.
I see Parth is kind of like, doing that whole, shuffling the foot thing, like, okay.
I just sort of heavily balance my greatsword on my shoulder and just give a sort of dragonborn sort of harumph.
Good. Onward.
Right?
So I believe we carry on.
So when you get to the kind of top, the precipice of these, these stairs, there seems to be, a single, small structure, and there's a clear doorway there, but the stone door underneath the massive stone turtle head is stuck fast and does not appear to have been opened in countless years. Dried mud and muck cakes the stone around the door's base. So you've basically got this, room or structure that looks to be a massive turtle, only showing you that how much bigger the inside of this, temple really is. But I mean, there's no, like I said, the door does not seem to have been moved in quite some time. So Hagdol kind of looks to Tylea, small and nimble, does not appear to be, equipped with a whole lot of strength. Oslin and Dante, studious and whatnot, also does not appear to be made of a whole lot of strength of arm. Turns to Bulgath and the Parthas, and do you think we could get this door open?
Of course.
Something to be done delicately by force.
That door looks like it's made of stone, and it's going to be pretty hard to move.
Can I look it over for traps or anything like that? Maybe.
Sure. Give me an investigation check.
Okay. That is going to be a 19.
All right, you are pretty confident that from this side there are certainly no issues, unless they're somehow buried in the mud.
And it seems to be there's more mud involved than anything else.
All right. I'm gonna try to brute force the door.
Okay. Give
Can
me
I help him?
Sure. So why don't you, Parthos, make a strength check with advantage?
Strength or athletic?
Just strength.
Let's see. Nope, that's so it'd be +4 with advantage. 22.
So you guys put your back into it, and with relative ease, you kind of like slide some of that mud across the whole ground, get a proper handle, set your feet, and you just pull, and that thing, I mean, it moves stone on stone, so I mean, it's not, open like a door on hinges, but it definitely opens with minimal effort. The air that comes out from inside, it seems stale and has not been, exposed to all of the mire of the swamp. So in some ways it's a little bit refreshing, but in other ways it's another set of unpleasantness as the stale air hits you. So as you step in, the chamber, it contains 4 stone coffins. Each one is carved with a statue of a turtle warrior. The inscriptions that are there, they're written in some language that none of you know. And Hagdall is actually quite surprised when he steps in to look, that despite he's never seen this language before, he can read them as easy as if it was the common tongue that he's learned, and the elven tongue that he learned from his adoptive family. But the inscriptions indicate that there were the first 4 Chukwatoa, and in the center of the room stands a stone table with 5 heavy tiles resting atop of it. He pulls up the first tile. During the age of Earth, after the world was first created, the first Chukwatoa sacrificed all so the seeds would grow from the dirt and sprout with the first children of Chukwa. Now he takes the second tile. During the age of fire, when giants walked, the second Chukwatoa, burning from within, cut open his chest and let the fire scorch and renew the land. He takes down the third one. During the age of wind, the third Chukwatoa swallowed the sky and bellowed out great storms from his wounded throat that swept up all that was dead. He grabs the fourth tile. During the age of water, the fourth Chukwatoa, racked with pain, wept bitterly, creating a great body of water to wash away all that was unpure. Then grabs the fifth tile. As the age comes to an end, the fifth Chukwatoa returns to his people. With the breath of Chukwatoa bathed in blood, Zaratan may be awakened. The inscriptions do not seem to shake Hagdall's faith, despite their violent imagery.
This is puzzling.
Hagdall,
What?
you didn't tell us this was going to involve you getting hurt.
No. It's got to be metaphors.
Yeah, but what if it's not?
We're here for the betterment of my people. I mean, we have to push on.
No pain, no gain.
If that's what you want.
Okay, what was the last? This is me asking as a player. What was the last part about what being awoken?
Zaratan may be awakened.
Was this a thing he mentioned to us before? Because I don't remember a Zaratan.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, it's come up
okay.
several times. That's why we've been so sus this whole time.
He claims that Zaratan is the avatar of Chukwa.
Oh, okay. See, I roleplay really, really well, and Oslin wasn't paying attention to those things because he was, so I wasn't either. So do we know what's going to happen when this Zaratan is awakened?
That's supposed to, arise and be able to help my people.
Does anyone else notice that there are two kinds of pain happening here? That of the avatar of Chukwa, but also there is some sort of cleansing happening in a devastating way. Will helping your people, Hagdall, could that potentially come at the cost of many lives of those who are not your people?
Oh, it shouldn't.
And yet you say this might be a metaphor, and in each metaphor, the avatar of Chakwa is grievously injured. And something is cleansed.
No, I mean, if and he pulls out, the tile, he pulls out the first one, and it's like,
Earth.
here, this is Earth, plants grew. He like basically kind of thrusting this at Tylea, who he learned is like, okay, you've got a whole nature thing going. He knows that you've got druidic power, and he's like, see, positive growth, plants.
After death.
So I kind of want to do a insight check to see if he believes or if he's rationalizing, but it doesn't matter because I rolled a 1.
I kind of just want to do an insight check to see if there's something he's not telling us.
Sure.
I got a 5 if that helps.
I got a 2, which I mean,
Also
so
5.
you guys are convinced of his conviction. To you guys, it does not appear that he is hiding anything.
I'm sold.
I mean, with all my bonuses, it's still an 8, but I'll be as reasonably suspicious as I am about my own connection with reality.
She's been suspicious of him the whole time. Let's see what I get. Shut up.
3?
20.
Oh.
I was going to expect you suddenly believe him.
Which gives it a 23 total.
Well, you get the same message. He doesn't seem to be hiding anything, and he only seems more fervent in his convictions, and that he is doing what is for the betterment of all, and he doesn't believe that this is got anything to do with sacrifice or any of that kind of stuff.
So what you're saying is it's a DC 25 to see he's lying.
Regardless of which way it plays out, the results are the same.
Well, my 2 cents. We'll go further, see what needs done. If it turns out this does involve some kind of ritual sacrifice, we just don't do that. Like, if it's literal, we could just not.
So, further up is the summit and the altar that you guys continue on. The altar is carved from a heavy stone not native to the Nightmire. However, years within the swamp environment have stained its surface dark and mottled green. 12 inches from the floor, a deep groove encircles the altar, forming a kind of thick pedestal for the upper block to rest upon. Deep scratches, now weathered and darkened by the passing years, show that at one time the altar could be turned and lifted from its base. Most unsettling, the top surface of the altar is not smooth, and instead features a depression roughly the size and shape of a Chelonian body, as if one is meant to lie upon it.
Yeah, that looks even more suspicious.
I'll turn to Hagdall and say, I recognize you are willing to put yourself in danger. You're willing to engage in personal sacrifice in order to follow your god's wishes. But if this ritual seems like it's going to put others in harm, we will prevent it from happening. I want you to be aware of that.
Okay. But I don't think that's going to be the case.
Understandable. I just want you to know where we're coming from, so you're not surprised if we step in. Should we feel that it is going poorly?
So he's kind of like walking around, this pedestal, and after a couple times around, he sees a a thing that wasn't quite as obvious. I don't know if any of you happen to look around, but there's a stone that is um, slightly marred, and maybe with your typical humanoid hands, it wasn't as obvious, but the turtle folk, the Chelanonians, or the turtles for darn it, their hands are slightly misshapen, to a regular humanoid, and the marring kind of matches that hand shape perfectly. And as he presses in, the whole pedestal kind of like twists and rises up. It comes up, and at first it stops, and in the in this little alcove, there is a mantle. See if it has a description here.
After
Yep, go ahead.
speaking with him, I would like to start the ritual for comprehend languages while he's doing his little thing.
Okay.
If 10 minutes pass, cool. If not, I'm not too worried about it.
So go ahead.
I was gonna say, when I see Oslin sitting down to do a ritual, I want to too. I just do detect magic
Okay.
because I know magic now, and it's fun to do it together.
Magic is a team sport.
So, when it stops at the alcove, inside is a yellow and green cloak. And he pulls it out of the mantle and puts it on. And, those of you who are watching, here's where, like, there's definitely something happens when he puts on this cloak. And you get the sense that information has been relayed just upon him donning this cloak. But before that goes too far in, the pedestal winds up rising and shifting again, and where there was an alcove that's now up and around, there's now a stairway leading down.
Looks like only one place to go.
Yeah.
Oh, this will be fun.
So the Hagdol kind of takes up the lead. A narrow stairway leads down into the darkness of the temple. Each step is treacherously slick with water and years of accumulated mud, and the air has an earthy odor of mold. Your light source dimly illuminates the interior of the temple, and a 10-foot tall stone statue of a Chelonian warrior, a stylized image of a Chukwatoa who came before. A dagger, seemingly made from something other than stone, is embedded to the hilt in the statue's broad stone chest. As you step down from the last step, the statue moves with one grating sound of stone on stone. What do you do?
Are we supposed
Okay,
to go?
everybody, back. Let's go back home.
It's moving, but is it moving in a threatening manner?
Oh, it is definitely moving towards you. It's roughly 12 foot tall, statue of this turtle folk. And if you had to pin it, you would say that it is moving aggressively.
Can I cast
Forty.
Shatter on its left knee?
Sure.
I don't know how Shatter works.
It's going to do damage.
Cool. Thanks, Ted. I think it's a con save, actually.
I love Shatter.
It's actually quite effective.
Hey, look, con save.
Is it con save for half or con save the negate?
For half.
All right.
And then
I've got
non-
a 22 on my saving throw.
a creature made of inorganic material such as stone, crystal, or metal has disadvantage.
All right, still a 22. Double 17s.
Let's go.
You said that it has what looks like a large dagger sticking out of its chest.
Indeed, sir. Yes.
Where are my d8s?
I have a spell that will do this, so
So
I'm gonna
20, so 5 or 10. 10 thunder damage. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, you do your damage. Hopefully make what I'm doing easier.
It was 20, so if he saved, which he did, it's 10.
All right, so once you guys roll up initiative, you got one freebie.
Yay! Did that seem especially effective?
It didn't seem to do any more damage.
Okay.
All right, so Tylee is on 19.
Waiting for Mike to
Oh crap! Sorry.
roll poorly.
Wow, Oslan, you never roll that low.
No. What's going on there, Megan?
Is the dog gonna protect you?
All right, Tylee, what are you doing?
So there was a mosquito about the size of a $50, and it's attracted to the light that I'm sitting under. And my dog got concerned and decided to come over here and save me.
Well, that
What a
can
good dog.
we'll have your dog just represent Snow.
Hi.
Okay.
I'm sorry about that.
No, whatever. Tylea, you're up.
I'm going to throw an ice knife at it.
Okay.
So let's do a dex save. Or sorry, no, I have to take it back. Double back. Range spell. I do a range spell attack. If it hits, it takes 1d10 piercing, and then has to do a dex save, or it's gonna get some ice damage.
Okay. Well, I rolled an X save. It failed.
I'm not kidding.
Are you kidding
Is
me?
it a loaded die?
All right.
She said she's
All
not
right.
kidding.
You're
Cut off.
that die is banned.
This
Is it the fifth
your
natural
favorite.
20? Is that your
Fourth.
fifth natural 20?
4.
4.
This one's giving me 3. Okay. So then 10. Okay, so that's 15 points.
Okay.
And then you have to do a dex save,
Which I failed.
which you failed. That's 2d6 total. So that's going to be 7. Nice.
Bulgas, you're never second in initiative.
Yeah, I was not prepared for this. I'll just cast Shatter again.
All right.
That's the easiest.
Rolling with disadvantage. That is 12.
Hey, that one actually fails. For 18. All
Because
sixes.
Because
on
I couldn't
3d8.
take what? Also, three sixes, so 18.
Yep.
I couldn't keep the natural 20 because of disadvantage. The only natural 20 I've rolled all night,
I'm okay with that.
despite rolling 16 saving throws all at once.
Wow.
All right, so only 2 of you have really done anything. So, Bulgath, you high or low?
Low.
You got low, so it's going to come after you.
Me or my figment?
We'll find that out. 1, 2, 3 is you. Well, it goes after your figment then.
Yay. It's probably dead if you hit it.
That is a 20 to hit.
Oh, yeah, that'll do.
So does your figment have hit points?
Oh, yeah. Now, you created it. You should know this.
I created that so long ago. Please.
March of 2018.
Yeah, over a year ago. I can't remember all that stuff. So it's 19 points of
It's
damage.
dead. My figment goes poof, and then I don't look bruised anymore. All of a sudden, I look normal again.
So you guys watch for a moment as the normal-looking Bulgas is punched into oblivion.
It looks like he falls apart into shadowy rocks and like caves in on himself.
Let that affect you however you so desire. And
Taylor looks so sad. Or V does anyway.
Dante, you're up.
I too have shatter. Give me a con save.
That is a 23,
That passes.
even with disadvantage. The second time I rolled a natural 20 on disadvantage. Even used different dice.
Oh. Okay. I think it flew away. So I got 19 on the damage, and half of that is I am so bad at this when it's not an even number. 9. Is it 9?
9 damage or 9 damage after half?
9 is halved.
Okay. Oslan, you're up.
Okay. I'm going to take a step forward, and then I'm going to go invisible.
Is that it?
Yep, because it's an action. As far as what you need to know about my fate, about like where I'm actually going, is I'm going to go right in front of it and grab that dagger. But I mean, that's something I'll do next turn.
Okay. Parthas.
I am going to run at this.
Okay.
Leap up. Try to grab this dagger and pull it out of its chest.
All right. So I need you to make an attack roll with disadvantage.
Right. What kind of an attack? Strength based?
Strength based, yeah.
That is a nat 20 and a 13, so that'll turn into a 17.
That will hit. Now, so you've managed to, grab on. Now you're going to try and pull.
Yeah, I'm going to try to pull.
All right. Make a strength check.
One that rolled a nat 20. Ironically, it's chronic dot.
There you go.
And it rolls a 5.
Oh.
So that is a total of 9.
All right. So you've got the dagger in your hand, but you wind up slipping when you went to pull. So you can attempt another check on your next turn.
Does it feel like it's moving at all?
You did not get it to move, but it does not look like it is made, like it's part of said creature.
Okay. I'm going to action surge.
Okay.
And attempt it again right away.
Go for it.
God bless America. That was a 20 and it rolled over to a 4. That was my patriotic curse.
If somebody wishes to, throw their inspiration at you, so you can re-roll that.
You can have it.
All right.
You feel invisible hands just hoisting you up, giving you a bit of a boost.
The re-roll, as I look over and see Dante's encouragement, is an 11, making that a 15.
Snow is encouraging.
So, so you run up, you try to grab on, and your feet kind of slip out from under you, and you're like, no, I want to do this. You start to pull. You hear Dante, shouting behind, and Snow gives a nice little howl. Somehow gives you that extra courage, and you begin to pull. You feel the muscles flex, all throughout your back, your shoulders, your biceps, down to your forearms, and you give a mighty two-handed tug. As you pull the dagger, you feel, an energy surge, not only from the dagger, but within the stone creature. As you pull and the tip of this dagger disconnects from the golem, the thing shatters. Pieces go flying all around you, not to any kind of disastrous effects. None of you take any damage or any of that, but the creature is no more, and Parth is standing there holding this, this dagger.
I had a hunch. I was right. Is there seem to be anything special about this dagger?
It seems, it's made of a bizarre, like, light green metal. It's curved. It's not like a straight, dagger in any way, shape, or form. It's completely unmarred from, any of the time that it was embedded in stone. Looking at the edge, it seems, razor sharp. It clearly holds some kind of enchantment for it. While you hold it, I mean, you just did some some pretty heavy work to pull it out, but you don't feel short of breath in any way, shape, or form. But as you stand there, kind of holding it, looking back at your companions, you look over, and your eyes pass over Hagdall, and he doesn't seem as excited as he was before, but he kind of has his hand, just kind of casually out, just out in front of him, but pointing towards you, Parthas.
Is there anything else in this room that stands out to us?
Nah, the chamber seems like it was made here for specifically, this statue and this purpose.
Yeah.
This dagger feels like it belongs here, part of this temple. I walk over and handle first to our total friend.
Thank you very much. It is we are nearly done with the mission. I thank you all very much for seeing this through, and there's just one more step, and that is the actual, now that he holds the dagger and he's wearing the cloak, now is just the time to complete this ritual. With that, he begins to head up the steps to head back towards the summit where you guys had found the cloak.
And just offhand, was there anything on the cloak that stood out, like any runes, anything written on it?
No, I mean, it seemed like it was of decent make, but it was just a yellow and green cloak that seemed to kind of.
And he dictated to us what the tablet said, right?
Indeed, yes.
Well, as soon as Parthas is able to get the dagger out of the statue, still being invisible, I would like to make my way out of the room up to the sacrificial chamber, I'll call it, and take a look at anything that's written down that I can find in that area.
So word for word, what he read is what was on those tiles.
Okay. And there wasn't any carvings on anything else, like around the slab or anything like that?
Nope.
Okay.
Everything else was either imagery or left blank.
Okay. Cool. Well, I've gathered as much knowledge as I can.
So as you guys head back to the altar, I mean, you all have your own beliefs, your own suspicions as to what is supposed to happen next. What are your plans? What are your thoughts?
He's not planning on cutting his own throat with that, is he?
gotta like put it in his chest.
Yeah.
No.
I'm certainly not going to help him.
It's a good thing we didn't bring the baby.
I'm still concerned that turning visible will or saying anything will make my invisibility spell go away. So I'm not.
You can't cast a spell or make an attack roll. Anything
Yeah.
else that you do while invisible, you remain invisible.
Okay, I
Keep
didn't know
Macarena.
how firm you're going to be on that. So
I am firm to what it is printed within the book.
all right.
Taking the help action, retrieving an item, delivering a potion, all of these things keep the spell going because none of them follow that specific rule.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm just gonna. I'll be reading the tablets and stuff when they come up to that room, most likely, because I don't think I can read them in a second.
So, you guys get up, back to the summit and to the altar, where you saw that there was that indentation that seemed to be made for a turtle's shell. He kind of comes to each of you, and that's there anyway. He can't seem to find Oslin. And he's like, thank you. This is an important moment for for me and my kind. He kind of personally looks at each of you and reaches out a hand, and if you're willing, he shakes it.
Okay, hold on though. You're not like actually gonna.
What?
What are you planning on doing with that?
I'm going to complete the ritual.
You hired us to bring you out here and not let you die.
No, I hired you to get me to here so that I can help out my kind and complete this ritual. And somehow
Think the bug
Dante.
just ate
I
me.
don't know how that just happened. God, I am sorry about that.
No worries. I'm just happy it didn't do what it normally does.
I know. I swear I didn't do it on purpose. No, like you didn't tell us that you were going to have to die to do this, and I think that's false advertising. And I like you, and I don't.
Well, it wasn't until I put this cloak on that I knew I was going to die.
Hey, to take this away from him would be shellfish.
Bulgas, there's a time and a place.
Poor jokes aside, Bulgas has a point. We were hired to bring him here to fulfill a ritual for his people.
All right, tell me something then.
For his culture.
Is this really what you want?
I feel this is the direction I'm supposed to go. I mean, I've been, on this path my entire life.
But is this what you want?
I feel it's right.
That's not the same thing.
What do you think I should do?
I think you know what you should do, and I'll support you whatever you decide, but you can't take this back. Like, really think about it. If it's what you want, then we'll do it. But if it isn't, you're not obligated.
What do the rest of you think?
I think you should do whatever you feel is right.
Bulgas?
I kind of already said my piece.
Well, then, with that, I thank you all for your part in this, and
Oslin is suddenly visible. He's laying on the slab, just kind of almost in an irreverent way, but it's not intentionally meant to be that way.
Sacrilege.
And he says, "You seem a bit unsure." And if you're going to make this choice, you need to have absolute certainty. Can only one of your kind save your people?
Yes,
And you're certain of this.
I am.
How?
I knew legends. I knew things that no one ever taught me, even from the moment that I could speak. Donning this mantle, I've gained far more knowledge in specifically of what I should do and say and what requirements Chukwa has for their Chukwatoa. I don't know exactly where you are, and he's kind of like looking around.
Oh no, he's visible again.
Okay.
Yeah, he's laying on the altar.
But should anyone else attempt to do what I'm doing, not being of my kind, not being blessed by my God, all they will do would be to end their life for no gain. Whereas here, I am a conduit of power.
And you're certain your actions will save your people.
Yes.
And your life won't be lost with no gain.
My life will be lost, and my people will be better for it.
And how do you come to know these things that Chukwa asks of you?
How does any priest or priestess know?
That's a very good question. Does Chukwa speak to you? Do you have intuitions?
I've been gifted knowledge. I feel that there are times that my insights have become realizations. I've garnered knowledge that no others have when I've spoken of things that no one has taught me, and then someone is able to confirm it by reading books and legends. It only makes me fully believe that being Chakwatoa, being a blessed of my God, I've been put in place for a specific reason. And wouldn't I just anger the God if I did not fulfill what I was born to do?
If given the opportunity, is there anything else that you would like to do with your life?
I've thought of nothing else. I feel I'm at the spot that I am meant to be. We spoke several days ago about a fated journey, and I have not really put any thought, any stock in what comes after, for this has been my life.
All of a sudden, you kind of half rolls out of this dip that's meant for a turtle shell and kind of unceremoniously stumbles off the altar, brushes himself off and says, Hegdal, your faith is pure, and I must admit I am slightly envious. You won't have to do this alone.
What do you mean?
I am here with you. I will be with you through it all.
Well, thank you for that. Should any of you not wish to see what comes next,
If you
I
can
will
do it,
not-
we can watch.
I will not be offended.
Do your people know that you're here doing this?
Some might. And with that, he begins kind of climbing up. And he rests facing upward. You see, his legs kind of dangling off the one side. The arms raise up, and for just a moment, you guys see the glinting of the pale sun through the fog before the dagger plunges straight into the middle of his chest. The dagger driven into his chest as if it's been by a stone golem. A crackling energy escapes the wound and dances along the hilt of the blade. As he dies, the will of Chukwa subsumes his spirit and animates his body with energy that lances from his fingertips into the temple grounds. In the distance, you see what you thought was a large, mountain as it begins to shake and move. The forepiece of this mountain rises, and you begin to see, the head of a massive turtle as one leg after another begins to pull itself from the muck. The ground beneath your feet rumbles and quakes. The temple stones begin to fall to rubble as Zaratan awakens. The colossal turtle rises from the water and muck below. It stands 100 feet tall, and its shell must be at least 200 feet long. Trees fall away as a mudslide courses down its back. As the ground begins to shake, the giant turtle begins to move. Any terrain in its wake is just crashed and moved out of the way.
And he is not headed towards civilization, yes?
As you look, you see that the creature is moving in a direct path back the way you came, towards Covington Cove, which is where we're going to end tonight's adventure.
No. Oh.
I think
Yeah.
Hagdall's going to become a celebrity.
So have you just been researching shell puns the entire time?
I've been writing them down as I thought of them.
They've been good.
Oh my
They've been good ones. You got them.
Save them over the course of the month so that you have them next time.
Keep them going.
So there you go. You guys let him die, and the giant monstrous turtle is awake.
Yep.
Hey, I mean that can't be a bad thing.
The sleeper has awakened.
I picked up the sword because I thought it was funny, but the hammer is actually going to be more useful.
The hammer was quite amusing to see.
Does Hagdall become the Chukwa? Is that how that worked?
No.
He died. He's dead.
Yeah. And Oslin would have taken the time to make him look peaceful in his moment of death, rather than look like somebody just stabbed himself in the chest and then died for what he is pretty sure is still nothing good for anybody else.
In my head canon, the first Chukwa was Chukwa Norris.
Yeah.
That's still my favorite joke of the evening. Hi, Goblin.
There's a goblin over by Oslin.
Oh, yeah? Usually there are a few.
So there you go. You guys, did a thing. We'll see how that pans out next. Actually, probably later this month. We'll have to figure out when that's going to be. So I hope you guys all had fun. I hope everyone out in the chat and watching out in internet land enjoyed tonight's adventure. If you happen to like getting awesome RPG related material, like what I ran tonight, cool awesome t-shirts, as well as handfuls of other awesome nerdy stuff, I would recommend you check out RPG Crate. There is a link down in the description. You can use promo code NerdArchyRPG Crate to get 10% off your first month subscription. As we kind of said in the beginning, all the links for all the awesome players that we have here, should they be apropos, they are down there. You can go and check them out, see them on Twitch and YouTube and read their books and what have you. So you guys can kind of say goodbye with me. And until next time, stay nerdy.
Stay nerdy.
Nerdy.